Good, happy Monday morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your news, weather, and traffic update right here on the Riley King Radio Network. Let's get started. First up, voter right march working to protect ballot access. People marched through the streets of Concord Sunday before holding a rally on the New Hampshire State House lawn, where they heard about the importance of ensuring people have the ability to vote. Members, estimated by organizers at about 300, walked the 1.2 mile from Concord High School to the steps of the New Hampshire State House in support of what they call a strong and fair election system. Sunday rally came as the legislature is considering sources of bills that say would curtail voting rights, including requiring additional proof of residency for new residents. Republicans' year-long calls for tightening the state voting laws gained fresh attention this year when Republican President Donald Trump allegedly widespread voter fraud in New Hampshire. There is no evidence that widespread fraud exists, but Republicans argue existing state laws create the potential for fraud. A handful of voters' fraud cases have been prosecuted in recent elections. Criticizing fear those changes could prevent some eligible voters, especially students and low-income residents, from casting ballots. Sunday's New Hampshire March for Voting Right, which was sponsored by the American Civil Liberties Union of New Hampshire and League of Women Voters and other groups, was moved from Saturday to Sunday because of the winter storm. And there you go on that report. 5-year-old child shot. Police say father was intended target. Let's take a listen to this video from WCVB Boston.
Our officers received a call for shots fired in the area of 12 to 14 Copeland Street in Roxbury. On arrival, 9:30 this evening, our officers received a call for shots fired. A young child in the area of 12 to 14 on the way to the hospital. Inside was a 5 or 6-year-old child who had a wound to the lower back. Thank God it looks to be non-fatal, and he's in stable condition. He's alert and awake, and he's going to be fine. Myself and Mayor Walsh talked to the doctors, so we're very fortunate about that. At this time, it looks clearly like his dad was the target here. Even the father made comments to that effect. And obviously, the scene up there is very active. We have officers doing canvasses, looking for video, but obviously we need the public's help to find who's responsible for this. Preliminary reports was a silver vehicle with 2 black males, 18 to 20, who fired multiple rounds from Warren and Copeland down the street towards the dad, and unfortunately they got the child. But the child's here. He's in good hands at Boston Medical Center at this time, and myself and the mayor talked to the doctor, and the doctor says he's stable, and we had a chance, I did, to visit with the child, and he was very alert and conscious, and we're very fortunate he's going to be okay.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Black Lives Matter protests prosecutors to appear in court. Protesters arrested last summer during a Black Lives Matter event will appear in court Monday morning. Prosecutors are petitioning the court to have their cases against the protesters put back on the docket. The hearing was scheduled after a plea agreement for the protesters fell apart in February. As part of a deal, 17 protesters were supposed to pay a $200 fine and avoid being arrested and charged with any criminal counts moving forward. They were also supposed to meet face-to-face with Portland police to discuss what happened on the night of the July protest. The meeting was canceled because police and prosecutors did not meet the conditions of the agreement. Prosecutors said the protesters did not want to split into two groups for the meeting. Protesters also asked the NAACP executive director to leave, according to prosecutors. The hearing is scheduled for 8:30 a.m. Facebook, Mozilla, and others launch $14 million fund to increase trust in journalism. Facebook and Mozilla are among the companies and organizations launching a $14 million fund to prompt news literacy and increase trust in journalism. Desperate search for survivors in Calabar fled, more than 200 dead. Rescue crews have been desperately digging through the rubble of Mako Calabar, trying to locate anyone who may still be alive after the town was devastated by a wall of water and mud that hit like an avalanche. At least 210 people have died and 203 have been injured, and the country expects those numbers, according to the National Unit for Management of Disaster Risk in Calabar. And now let's take a look at your weather. Your weather for today: a mix of clouds and sun, high 54 degrees, winds light and variable. For tonight, partly cloudy skies this evening will give way to cloudy skies and rain overnight, low 37 degrees, winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, chance of rain 90%. Now let's take a look at your traffic. And a live look at your traffic right now. We're seeing a lot of green roadways, and we have a tiny yellow area and a tiny little red area in between Bedford and Merrimack. Otherwise, we're seeing a lot of green roadways this morning. No major issues on your roadways this morning. That is it for your news, weather, and traffic update right here on the Riley King Radio Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday. See you back here later on today. Bye, everyone.